I have news for you. We got ourselves a house. Welcome, viewer, to the first episode of renovating old house in the countryside, which is entirely made of stone, and we're gonna renovate it into something very rustic, Italian, luxury-looking Toscana vibe thing that after we plan to give as a guest house, so you yourself can visit it. This is something I've been dreaming for a really long time, and I'm so excited about this project because it's so into my heart. And old houses, they're the best. Whenever I went to an Airbnb outside my country, in Italy or Vienna, I've always stayed in houses that have been renovated or apartments, and I loved the feeling of something preserved, ancient, but at the same time renovated to keep its charm, to keep its glory. And I'm so excited, honestly. I cannot wait to show you the final results. I'm so excited that I can't even tell you what's gonna happen. I'm shaking. This particular house is in the cutest village in the region where I live. It's not exactly where I live, but it's close to where I live. And the view, oh my god, you have to see it. Just the house is at the edge of something like a cliff that seems like the house is really at the end of the world. The location is 10 out of 10. Absolutely mesmerizing. You can't imagine the feeling, the vibe, the birds chirping, it's not as high in the mountains where I normally live. That means it's still up in the mountains, but it's warmer, which makes it so unbelievably good. We can plant absolutely anything we wish there, because when we're up in the mountains, we're a bit limited of what we can plant around the house as greens and stuff like that. But there, I can plant lemons, I can plant tangerines, I can plant passion fruit if I want. You see, renovating houses is, you just have to preserve the whole vibe of the house, the whole atmosphere that used to give years ago. This house is 70 years old, I think, but I have been renovating houses since I was a child with my father, because that's what he does, and he will help us as well as Nikki's dad, because 4 brains are better than one. The location of this house is within a complex of other houses which are 3 or 4 at the end of the cliff, but this one is the furthest one. That means it's exactly on the edge of the cliff. And interesting thing that it's part of a bigger old house which they made after in order to have more place for people to stay in there and sleep while they were working. I'm planning to begin with the yard because at the moment it's gonna take 2 months for Nikki's uncle to get his luggage out, and by the time that he does that, we don't want to lose any time, and we will do as much as we can with our bare hands outside in order to give it a better look. I've always started renovating from the inside, which is not the best idea because the location is difficult to just get around and build and carry things, tools. It's just really inconvenient. In this episode, we will try to fresh up the yard a bit, see what's going on there, because at the moment there's so much grass everywhere and you can't really, it's really bushy and you can't really get an idea of where the ground is, what's going on. I started digging out the grassy carpet that has been formed there after all these years passing. Meanwhile, Nikki and his dad went to hunt down the spring water. This digging now seems easy, but trust me, it took my soul away. The roots were deeper at some places and I needed a lot more force than expected. there's a bit of problem with the water getting into the house. We might have to remove some of those bushes that are rooted into the house and getting that moisture in there. Then we plan to surround the house with flat stones and tile glue, then seal it with the magical liquid rubber. That way the rain will not reach the floor downstairs. But more about this on the next episode. Huge problem for this house was the water. I mean, there is water everywhere in the mountains, but the thing is that house doesn't have the proper plumbing. I mean that it doesn't get water from the big government water supply that everybody here in the normal house would get. And that's great. We have a challenge to cover. And what we plan to do is to first find a spring water and then with a pump system to get it into the house and place it in a massive reservoir that will get enough water supply for the house. This is not a problem. The thing is that just for the beginning, we want to have some water that will make our journey easier. This water is necessary in order to build the house at the start. It's not going to be that much, but later on we'll figure out how things are going. And you see, first, the most important thing to do today as a first day is to find spring water near us, like the mother spring water. We don't have precise information of where that could be because the village has only 2 residents. They got themselves water from their own spring water supply, which is above their houses. They have found this magical place hidden between the trees down the house. I am not sure how I could translate the name of it in English, but this is a masonry that is built at water source, and the gaps between the stones allow the droplets to collect at the bottom of it. So fascinating. This thing turned out to be 500 years old, Asian thing. They noticed that someone was trying to get some water from there before, as the bottom stone was excavated and the water could no longer collect there. That's why they repaired it, and hope has arrived amongst us. In mountains is a bit different to get water rather than in the field, because the water in the mountains coming from the rocks. So basically you have the rock here and the spring water supply should be placed here, perpendicular to the rock. Rather than in the field, you have to dig really deep down to get water, and we're lucky we don't have to do that. I have a lot of inspiration for this house because I am so passionate about houses, so passionate about style in houses and how they're done, especially renovating them, because building a new house is not as challenging as renovating one. Renovating it means that you have to preserve some things that are occurred in the house. And also building a new house, it wouldn't be as authentic and unique as if you would renovate it. I love old houses. I'm so inspired. I'm so motivated. I cannot wait to do it, honestly. Another problem is that the road to the house, the road to the village is great. It's brand new, nothing to worry about. But on probably 100 meters from where you park the car to the house, there is a really dodgy looking road that I guess it used to be a road for trails, but I feel like we have to do something about it in order to get our cars in there. Because imagine just carrying all the materials by hand. It doesn't matter if it's 250 or 200 meters. It's just, I don't want to do that. So yes, his dad managed to do it. He got to the house. Well, still the road will need to be fixed so the guests can freely visit, but for now our minds are relieved. I have made a 3D project of the house and how it's gonna look, and I really wish to share it with you because you came here to see what's gonna happen, and I'm giving it to you. I have done a detailed sketch of the site, and as you can see, this is how the building looks now, and this is how it will be remodeled. Of course, we're keeping the stones because it will be one of the most beautiful features of the house. Here you can see the upper floor and its layout, but it's going to turn into this. These windows will have a hiding option, of course. We go to the corridor, which will be open to the lower floor, and in between them, a unusual but completely comfortable and functional staircase, under which will be a storage room with a door. Here is the bedroom that will have the best view. The good news is that this part of the house points to the north, and what I know is that bedrooms are not good to have a window facing the east, so we're lucky. There is a planned sitting area with openings and bookshelves underneath if someone wants to read books while enjoying a view. We are also considering a retractable board as a desk for those who will be working remotely from a laptop. There is also space for a wardrobe plus a low cabinet which is practical enough to place luggage when you enter instead of placing it on the floor, of course. There will be small opening between the bedroom and the hallway wall with an interesting feature for additional air while sleeping there, which does not change the temperature of the room. It will swivel open and close as well as be coverable for privacy. At the corridor, there will be place for coats, closets, and probably a mirror. We're going down. Here will be the place for the kitchen. Living room with a nice unfolding sofa for couples who want to bring their children. And of course, the wall that you can't see will be the TV point with a selection of Blu-rays and a good sound. Behind the staircase, there will be a toilet as well as more space for luggage and the boiler. This door leads to an outside porch to enjoy the sun during the warm months with a glass of drink and fresh fruit. This here is a door right now, but we plan to leave it as a window for extra light. And the large and majestic window of the staircase has the same purpose. Light for the 2 floors, and at daytime the light will reflect on the walls, which will be made of vintage brass or old mirror, maybe copper plates, we'll see. The heating will be 2 large remote air conditioners, as one is for the whole space and the other only for the bedroom. The bathroom, of course, will have a separate heating unit. I haven't worked out the details out, but if you share your own opinion in the comments, I would add some extra things you would like, such as a barbecue area, canopy, pool area, benches, swings, whatever your imagination brings up. Wait for the next episodes for more details. So yes, this is pretty much how the house is gonna look. Now I'm going to be sharing with you how the inside and the interior is going to feel like with a mini sort of mood board that I've chosen. These are the inspirations for the overall look of the interior. Subtle colors, but as priority will enhance the textures. Wood, stone, lime, ceramics, soft edges, feather walls, linen, walnut wood, copper, and exquisite handmade furniture. Very clean, very comfy, super rich in calmness, nature-inspired, rustic look. Lighting is really important. Lighting is something that in most cases, 80% of the time, it's giving the luxury vibes, honestly. This, as an interior designer, that's my confession. Light is really important. We're planning not to have direct lighting literally anywhere, because this is gonna give such dimension, such beauty, such atmosphere. It's going to be so romantic, so mesmerizing, so good. The thing that is a bit more challenging is that some of the carpentry that we're gonna do will require some special wood and special wood here is really expensive. The reason we do everything by our hands using less machines is that to prove you that if you have the desire to do something, if you have the motivation, the inspiration, you can do it without that much money and huge team that, you know, blast into your house and just renovate it in 15 minutes. I just really wanted to make these series relatable to a lot of people in my country who also are renovating houses and turning them into villas and guest house. I want to motivate them to use less money but work smarter for this, because you can make miracles out of any material. And it's not always about money, it's not always about just getting something on Amazon and ordering it and placing it in your house. The charm of such project is to actually do it with your own hands and experience the whole transformation, between your fingers. And I believe that if we manage to do all the furniture inside and the stairs, the windows, the decoration, the chairs, the couch, this will be, I'm gonna be so proud. I'm just gonna be so proud and happy with that. In some way, this house is going to be our mini gallery, and there will be a cinema spot in the corner where you can, as a guest, go there, sit on a comfy couch, enjoy the view, and start watching how this house was built. Isn't that cool? I mean, come on. I've always wanted to watch the series of how a house is done that I'm currently staying in as an Airbnb or booking. It has something so magical about it. To know the materials, to know what to do with them, to know how to deal with something pre-existed and transforming it to its formal glory that is full of its own energy and beauty. I'm excited, really, like so excited. The yard turned out to be perfect beneath the green carpet. I was fascinated to see what has been hiding all the time there. That was also the moment when Nicky and his dad came to help. They have figured out how to repair the water and what to do for the next episode. I've been to Italy a couple of times, and anytime I see a house there, it just screams to me, I'm renovated. My beauty has been preserved. I'm so fashionable. The reason we wanted this to be a guest house is that we want to start, or is in future, maybe, I don't know when, a series of unique houses that are entirely made out of our hands. It has to be made to be a place where you can just go there and rest. At first I didn't want to do it as a guest house, but my boyfriend talked me through it and he said, look, you just have to share it with the world. You just have to give them opportunity to touch to those things that we're gonna make. And oh, I really want them not to ruin it. It sounds a bit psycho, but I see it literally near me, around me, in 3D. And oh god, it's gonna be such a good house, I promise. I believe that out there, a lot of people would dream to happen to them. And having a house, a property at such location, it would be a shame not to give it as a guest house. It's just, there's something so magical about it to share with the world. I'm so thankful for each viewer of this channel because this is so motivational. You have no idea how grateful I am for just all of you who's watching. It makes my day, honestly. This is how the yard turned out. Still a couple of flat stones to be revealed, but this is about to come. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out what's coming next and what is about to be made. So if you really enjoyed the plan of this challenge, keep up, stay with me, and I promise you, you will be absolutely fascinated. I really hope that this will take no longer than a year. That's the initial plan. I want to create uniqueness that is going to give the guest experience, not just a bed, you know, bed is alright. I want the guest to feel like he is surrounded by art. Like he's within art. He is the one that is living in art.